today, I want to be talking about the Chicago Bulls defense and how good it could potentially be over the course of the next couple of games. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if we want to do successful in terms of this West Coast trip, we're playing a lot of good teams here, ladies and gentlemen, as well. We're going to have to execute on the defensive end just as much as the offensive end. And although our offense gets a lot of talk, a lot of people don't necessarily like how our offense is often played. In my opinion, our defense has something that has been somewhat stable over the past couple of games for the majority of the season, and I do kind of want to talk about how important our defense will be heading into this West Coast trip. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Bulls Show, turn notifications on, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls and how good you think our defense can be, with obviously even the potential of Lonzo Ball coming back to the team. We do have a lot of defensive potential on this team, and it starts with our leaders, ladies and gentlemen. It starts with our defensive leader in Alex Caruso. I think he is our defensive leader at the moment, and he has done phenomenally well on the defensive end. But I truly think we have taken leaps and bounds of a bigger step in terms of our defense from our superstars, from DeMar DeRozan, from Zach LaVine, from Nikola Vucevic, from Patrick Williams recently as well, from Ayo Dosunmu. Our starting five and our bench have all been really solid on the defensive end. And you might be thinking it's just one game against the Milwaukee Bucks or one game against the Boston Celtics that kind of defines that. But if you actually look at the statistics of our, star players on the defensive end, I think they're all having close to career high years on the defensive end, which shows our potential, ladies and gentlemen. And I do want to say we do have a lot more potential that we can look forward to on the defensive end. But that Milwaukee Bucks game, I still want to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. It's only been a couple of hours since I'm making this video compared to when that game happened, and I'm still very energized about that game. And I look at our defensive display. I look about how everybody helped each other. I looked about the switching of the team. I looked at how we left certain people open at the three-point line that we know are not three-point shooters. I look at how strong our defense was in that game, and I only think, man, if we could do that every game, imagine what we could be if we put that defensive display every game. Not every team has a Giannis, ladies and gentlemen. Not every team has an MVP, arguably one of the best players in the world as of today, type player on their team to break them out of certain situations where they are struggling and they do kind of not have a lot of offense. Teams like, for example, the OKC Thunder that we have coming up next, they don't have a Giannis on their team. Imagine if we bring the exact same defensive pressure that we brought against the Bucks to the OKC Thunder, and imagine what that could do for the Chicago Bulls. Not only will it do for our offense, but also our confidence level and boosting it up a little bit more, ladies and gentlemen. Our defense is something I can question for some games, of course. The game against the Nuggets where we got blown out, we could question our defense. The games against the Pelicans the day after, we questioned our defense. The game against Orlando, we definitely questioned our defense. There are a lot of games where we have questioned our defense before, but if you're looking at the statistics of our defense, it's up there, ladies and gentlemen. We are one of the better teams defensively in the league. Our bench has to be taking credit for that. Andre Drummond, Alex Caruso, Goran Dragic, even Kobe White is playing the absolute best defense he possibly can. And now our starters are starting to finally get into that rhythm of things. Patrick Williams' defense on Jason Tatum and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis's first half, again, what Patrick Williams did to him was incredible. I loved every single moment of that. And of course, what he did to Jason Tatum as well. Both of them had great games, but we made them uncomfortable, and our defense everywhere else was super solid. And we got to give credit where it's due to the Chicago Bulls team. It's still a start. It doesn't necessarily mean that the Chicago Bulls are going to come out here and, again, win every single game with brilliant offense and brilliant defense. There will be games where we struggle. There will be games where we lapse. There will be games where we are not concentrating as much, or we don't give enough of ourselves on the defensive end, or we're not playing with each other on the defensive end. There will be nights like that. And I think I've come to accept that from the Chicago Bulls team. And by no means am I saying these first two games will help me change my mind on everything about the Chicago Bulls, since we did lose 4 in a row, one of our last 7 and everything of that nature. Yes, we've seen the turning point. That Boston game was the start. The Bucks game was progression. I want to see a little bit more of that, ladies and gentlemen. I want more of that defensive effort. I want more guys. I want guys like Alex Caruso to continue to shine on that defensive end. I want our leaders to keep on taking responsibility on the defensive end. And I just want to see this Bulls team succeed as much as I possibly can see it. And that starts on the defensive end. And I think it's been shown over the course of the season thus far. Even though we are at a negative record, our defense has been, in my opinion, not necessarily the biggest talking point. Our offense, in my opinion, is the talking point of the Chicago Bulls. That's where we've struggled the most. We've struggled more on the offensive end than the defensive end. And again, our stagnation leads to a lot of games where we score a little bit under 100 or just over 100, and we can't seem to crack, I guess, 110, 120 points and beat some of the good teams. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, our defensive end has been super solid, and again, I want to see more of that. This West Coast trip is a trip that's going to be grueling. So many playoff teams, so many tough and competitive battles. We recently come off of 2 good wins against Eastern Conference teams, but the West will be different. The West play differently, and we're going to have to adjust to that massively, ladies and gentlemen. But if we can bring that defensive energy over into the West, we can stop teams at home from scoring the basketball, and we can continue to go on our momentum. I really think we could have a good West Coast trip. And if we have a good West Coast trip and we see this Bulls team come together, not just offensively, because offensively it definitely needs to happen as well, but defensively is where we're going to see a lot of our wins come from. If we stop teams from scoring, we have great chances to win away from home when we're not often seen as the favorites in those games. So again, we got to learn from that Milwaukee Bucks game. We got to learn from how we played over there. We got to learn how we can execute it to the Thunder, to teams like Phoenix and the Warriors. These types of teams in the past we have been blown out by before. The Warriors, both times last season, blown out. The Suns, I think for the most part, both times last season was blown out. Again, we've not had great times in the West, but hopefully this could be that turning point, as I mentioned before, and hopefully we can turn things around. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think altogether, ladies and gentlemen. But it is just a quick short video talking about how much I have liked the defensive effort over the last 2 games and how our statistics have shown we are still a very good defensive team overall in the season thus far. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. Don't sleep on the Bulls, ladies and gentlemen. I think at this point we've come to see that we've seen how, I guess, the lows of the lows. I'm hoping now we can start seeing the highs of the highs. We can start seeing what this team is truly capable of on both sides of the floor. But of course, defensively is going to be key in my eyes. Have a wonderful and safe day. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned for more. Take care and peace.